and it was needed to help erase a Miami 6-point fourth-quarter lead. When it was over, it was a 9-point Knick win and another statement game by Ewing that he is still the one. Now, the Knicks try to get something restarted at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who use Christian Laettner at center, Long Island's Tom Gugliotta up front, and controversial Isaiah Rider at guard. This trio is averaging 54 points a game, a young foundation that's won 3 of their last 5. The weather's so bad, even the Wolves have come indoors to meet the Knicks next at the Garden. MSG, the network of the Knicks, welcomes you live to the world's most famous arena. And tonight at the Garden, it's the Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. For the Wolves, it's been pretty much the same old story. Lots and lots of losing. 11 wins and 28 losses, but they've won 3 of their last 5. As for the New York Knicks, they rebounded from the loss to Chicago with a win in Miami and are 25-15, still 4.5 games back to the Orlando Magic. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Al Trout again for Marv Albert along with John Andres. Busy day at the Garden. Better than 30,000 hoop nuts here watching St. John's surprise Georgetown. And now the Knicks taking on the T-Wolves. And, John, when you talk about the Knicks in the last recent run of games, it's except for the loss to the Chicago Bulls, big-time Patrick Ewing.
Yes, Patrick has stepped it up to his real all-star style of play that he's presented throughout his career. He's been a killer lately. And when the Knicks went off to Miami the other night after that game here against Chicago, Patrick turned it on big time against the 4th leading scorer in the NBA. When Patrick decides to put the ball on the floor and he's played one-on-one, it shows you how difficult he can be. Left-handed dunks, right-handed dunks. He gave Mourning the whole repertoire, and he was sensational in Miami. And it really started a week ago Friday in Seattle. These big scoring games, 41 out there against Seattle. Vancouver, he was very solid with an all-around game. Had a low game against Chicago, but he erupted Wednesday night in Miami, and the Knicks are certainly hoping he can do that against a team tonight that's a little soft physically in the middle.
Yes, they are. 6'11" center Christian Laettner, not exactly muscle-bound to say the least. This is an interesting game. Ewing could eat him up, or Laettner could make Ewing so busy defensively with his moves.
Well, they have a relationship that goes back to the Dream Team in the last Olympics. There's a fond feeling between the two, but I think when the game starts, as it was with Mourning the other night, Ewing should really run crazy physically over Laettner, who's been playing very good basketball, however, in the center position. Minnesota has found he's most effective playing center, and when he uses his mobility and gets out on a break or gets the opportunity to drive to the basket, Laettner is very tough and getting better. This season, over 19 a game, shooting the ball very well from the field and the foul line. He's getting a decent amount of rebounds, and he's an excellent passer. He's a complete player, but he needs a full team around him.
Well, we know all about the recent struggles of the Knicks. That has manifested itself also recently with this team not getting up for teams that are well below 500, which is exactly what the Timberwolves are. It's the Minnesota T-Wolves and the New York Knicks live at the Garden in a moment.
Aged Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. By American Express. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. By Delta Airlines, official airline of Madison Square Garden. And by Citibank, for banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. It's the Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves on this Saturday night. Mike Walshevsky is at the mic to introduce the starting lineups for both teams.
At guard at 6'3" from Wisconsin, Stevens Point, number 30, Terry Porter. At guard at 6'5" from Nevada, Las Vegas, number 34, Isaiah Rider. At forward at 6'10" from North Carolina State, number 24, Tom Gugliotta. At forward at 6'7" from Mercer, number 42, Sam Mitchell. And at center at 6'11" from Duke, number 32, Christian Laettner. The trainer is Chris Palmer, assisted by Clayton Wilson. Assistant coaches Mike Schuler, Randy Whitman, Greg Ballard, and Jerry Seasting. And the head coach, Flip Saunders. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'5" from Oklahoma State, number 3, John Starks. At guard at 6'4" from Illinois, number 11, tri-captain, Derek Harper. At forward at 6'7" from Tennessee State, number 14, Anthony Mason. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, tri-captain Charles Oakley. And at center at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, tri-captain Patrick Ewing. The head trainer is Mike Saunders, the assistant trainer Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches Jeff Van Gundy, Don Shady, Bob Salmi, and Jeff Nix. And the head coach of the Knicks, Don Nelson.
Well, it's impossible to judge the impact, really, of Flip Saunders. This will only be his 20th game as head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. From a percentage standpoint, wins and losses, it is exactly what the team was doing before he was named the head coach. Well, we spoke to him, our own Michael Kay did, about the effect he's having on the team and the way they've been playing lately in his eyes.
I think we've played better at times. You know, last week we won 3 games in a row, which is the first time in 3 years, and so I think that shows that we played better. And we've had a lot of games where it's come down to the last possession of the game, and unfortunately we haven't won a lot of those. So I think of the games that we've played here, I think we've had 8 games that have gone down really to the last minute of the game, deciding who's going to win it. So I think all in all we're playing better, but we still need consistency. You know, we're a young team. We've got 10 guys in our roster that have 4 or less years experience in the league, and so maturity is something that comes with playing more games and becoming comfortable with our system.
Well, John, he's got the coach speak down.
Yes, well, he's an experienced guy, although the people around the league, the fans rather, don't know him that well, but he's had a nice effect on the team.
Almost a lifer in the CBA, won 2 championships there. Guy from Cleveland getting his chance because of the early season struggles of the T-Wolves. So many people point fingers as this guy so often when they speak about the internal problems of this team underachieving. Isaiah Rider.
Rider is a multi-skilled player, as the Knicks will feel tonight, Al.
Starting things off, Ewing with Gugliotta on the tip. Ed Middleton, Ed Efrush, and Tony Brothers, the officials for tonight's game at the Garden. Oakley draws Gugliotta defensively. Rider guarding Starks, who quickly looks for 3. Ewing high over Gugliotta for the rebound. Gets the soft bounce. Well, Ewing just continues to roll, and as John mentioned in our opening, the lack of muscle on the front line of the T-Wolves is something that Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing should be able to take care of from a rebounding standpoint. Oakley hustles for the steal. Harper with the big Gugliotta back, draws the foul. Hustle committing every part of his body to stealing that basketball, Charles Oakley.
Charles is just a totally fearless competitor when it comes to using his body. It's amazing what he gives game in and game out, and what a nice way for the Knicks to start out. A team that's trying to pull together now, not only victories, Al, but also a sense of team play and cohesiveness and caring for each other out there as they compete for their common goal.
A sense of who they are, really. Last few games, Derek Harper's been very quiet offensively. Oakley's been quiet in both sides of his game. Harper hits in a very quiet atmosphere just underway. This is one of those give your season tickets to a friend nights that we have once in a while at the Garden. Leitner drawing Ewing way out. Rider, great leaping ability, but Starks had a hand right in his face. Oakley guarded by Gugliotta. Ewing posts up. Ryder made sort of a semi-commitment defensively. Oakley's open on the switching. And the Knicks lead at 5-zip.
Lovely look by Derek Harper to Oakley.
Wolves rushing up the floor at Huntington Station's Tom Gugliotta gets the T-Wolves on the board.
That's a sign of how they want to play this game. They don't have great power, but if they move the ball, they're very tough with a guy like Gugliotta.
Oakley again. That time Ewing just missed over Leitner, who boxed out well. Oakley guards Gugliotta. Mason on Sam Mitchell. Mitchell, who started his career with the Minnesota Timberwolves, then played a couple of years with Indiana, will go to the line with 10:24 to go in the opening quarter. There's only one player who's played with the T-Wolves since the very beginning and remains with them, and that's Doug West.
This is Sam Mitchell's second go-around with the Timberwolves. Originally an expansion player for them in 1989 when the franchise began. Spent 3 years there and then the 3 at Indiana.
It's a 1-point game off the free throws. 5-4 Knicks. Ewing alley-oop. Gets a second chance, and there's no chance for the Minnesota Timberwolves front line. Leitner just dropped off.
Well, that gives you an idea of the problem that Ewing is going to create for this team.
11-year veteran Terry Porter. You really have to wonder what he's doing on a team like this after all his outstanding years in Portland. Harper flips for Starks, shovels it up. And now there's Porter. Goes for Gugliotta, who beats Mason to the basket.
Well, that's what Terry Porter's doing, Al. He was signed as a free agent. Michael Williams, a very well thought of guard, out on the injured list right now, and perhaps with his career finished from what I hear. And the problem with Terry Porter is, though, he's been asked to play too many minutes now, as this team has been hurting for backcourt leadership and help.
Starks 0 for his first 3, and Isaiah Ryder is called for traveling. Well, John, I guess the idea is sound. If you've got young players who are having their problems, Leitner, Ryder, you bring in a guy like Porter, who's been around the loop 11 times, been to the finals, been on a great team, knows what it takes to get there. You can say that is a good idea, but now with the end result being 11 and 28.
Well, he is, as I said, Al, the problem in talking to their coaching staff before the game is that he's had too many periods of 30, 35 minutes a game, and they feel at this point in his career it's just too much. He's a very solid player and veteran and good leader, a good locker room guy. He's a solid citizen. They really like many aspects of Porter, but his role is a little too big now.
Knicks off the foul on the baseline by Isaiah Ryder. Getting the recycled 24-second clock. What a look by Starks for Mason. Knicks were sort of standing around, and then Mason went in motion. Paid off. Harper in on Terry Porter. Leitner draws Oakley this time, and it's Ewing on Gugliotta.
Gugliotta with good range and the ability to drive the ball, as we witness.
He's such a good, solid, fundamental basketball player. Tom Gugliotta didn't work in Washington. Golden State thought they could live without him. So he's the leading scorer now on this team.
Here's a Marriott marquee look at Tom Gugliotta. Once a player with his ability is allowed to take the baseline, the chances are he's going to at least score, if not draw a foul.
I meant to say the leading rebounder on this team and the third leading scorer. The big three, obviously, Ryder, Leitner, and Gugliotta. And Tom has 7 points.
Tom, who has, Al, as you remember, has had many off moments here at Madison Square Garden while wearing a Bullets uniform. And there's Charles Oakley getting his hands on the ball a lot here in the opening moments and doing it. 11-9
Knicks. 8 minutes and change to go in the first quarter. This should be an easy layup for Anthony Mason. You can see the way that ball came off the rim. It came out far, and the Knicks took advantage quickly. Knicks shooting well, 6 of 11. Anthony Mason commits the foul, and Sam Mitchell will go to the line again. Second foul on Anthony Mason, so an early danger sign for the Knicks.
Mason still featuring his back to D message on his head, and Mitchell also gets by him going left. Right-handed shooter, but he went left. Mason had no help. Rare to see Mason lose ground to a guy as big as Sam Mitchell when he puts the ball on the floor.
Mitchell wearing the captaincy gets it done on the line. 13-11. Both teams shooting well. Wolves at 60, Knicks at 55%.
Knicks trying to get John Starks free off a pair of picks down low.
Starks travel with the fake. Turnover. The first for the Knicks. Isaiah Ryder quiet so far in the offense for Minnesota. Driving in on Starks. Rejected by Ewing. Starks up the floor. Harper. Well, maybe this is the night Derek Harper restarts it. 7 minutes to go. Out of bounds. John, we had a coffee mishap in the pregame, and it's all over you, and I hope it's not distracting you from your game.
I'm enjoying it, Al. It's got a nice aroma. Well, tomorrow you can catch live MAC action as the men's and women's teams of Manhattan College tip off against the Loyola Greyhounds. Men's action will begin at 2 p.m. followed by the women's game at 4 p.m. right here on the MSG Network.
Big day for the St. John's Red Storm, beating Georgetown convincingly. That's a top 10 team. Big upset at the Garden. Starks guarded by Isaiah Ryder. Does the Ewing screen. Seen a little bit more of this in the past couple of games. Ewing going out and restarting what they've been doing for the past few years. That one rolled off.
Leitner coming out high, trying to set up Ryder down low. Very tough one-on-one player. Good help from Derek Harper, though.
Ryder. That's 3 tough looks at the hoop for Isaiah Ryder. Harper dribbles all the way in on Porter. Great spin.
Those are the kind of drives, Al, that Derek Harper just could not succeed with Michael Jordan in front of him the other night. Derek has been so effective at driving the ball to the basket this year.
From Gugliotta off. Knicks try to expand their 8-2 run. They're up by 6. Mason's open. Knicks showing ball movement.
Well, Ewing has been getting double teamed upon getting the ball in his hand, so that immediately starts the rotation of the basketball to the open man.
Gugliotta getting free. Oakley helped stop him. Nothing really clicking right now for Minnesota. 5:20 to go in the opening quarter.
Mason getting an opportunity now, working down low.
Mason doesn't get the roll. All T-Wolves underneath, but it's off of them, out of bounds, favoring the Knicks.
Thanks to Oakley's pressure. Oakley was fading away from under the basket as Mason went up for the shot. Then he came roaring back in.
Derek Martin checks into the game. 5'11", acquired this month from the Vancouver Grizzlies. Weird story. He was with the T-Wolves last year. Then they released him in November. He's picked up by Vancouver, and to get him back, they needed a second-round pick for a guy they released. And our producer tonight, Frank DeGrace, who keeps track of where all these picks go, reminds us that that is the Knicks pick that goes back to the trade that brought Tony Campbell to the Knicks.
That's John Starks finding the range from in front of Don Nelson.
Minnesota calls timeout. 4:49 to go in the opening quarter. The Knicks up by 9, 20-11.
Remember, Harrison Ford, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser.
It's Harrison Ford getting set to order some good eats. They don't come much bigger than him for me, John.
I know. He's just sitting there with his best pal and having a good time. And I had a good time seeing Sabrina recently, Harrison Ford's recent motion picture, which was terrific. Looks a lot different in person, though, Al.
I'm a big Humphrey Bogart fan. I just couldn't make the commitment. So Derek Martin will run the show now for the T-Wolves. And the Knicks pester him all around the perimeter. That leaves Sam Mitchell open for a moment. He's off, but a loose ball foul. Anthony Mason is called for the foul. That's the third, and it gets Charles Smith off the Knick bench. 3 quick first quarter fouls on Anthony Mason. And after the first free throw, Charles Smith will enter the fray. T-Wolves have lost 2 in a row. Prior to that, they won 3 in a row for the first time in a few years. And 2 of those were pretty quality wins. Sacramento and San Antonio. And sandwiched in the middle was a victory over Golden State. That very convincingly ended a 6-game losing streak.
Sam Mitchell's really been shooting his foul shots well lately. 31 of his last 34 coming in tonight.
And John, he's 6 for 6, so you've picked up on a theme. Ewing banks it off the back of the rim. 22-13.
There's Patrick's versatility. He's been working down low, working on the perimeter, hurting the T-Wolves both ways.
Leitner sets the screen, but Harper slides through. Oakley helps out. Oakley almost got back to intercept. Leitner fouled on the shot.
See, when Oakley came out to help out, the retreat to help, by the time he got back, help hadn't arrived quickly enough to deal with Leitner. Knicks have to realize when one of their big men goes out to double team the guards, as they often do. See Oakley coming out. Someone's open now. There's a big guy open. Charles heads back quickly underneath the basket. But the rotating Charles Smith just got there too late.
But John, very active defense. You know, the Knicks have talked a lot recently about getting back to D. It's on Anthony Mason's head, and it's in all the players' minds. The numbers of a year ago are about the same. I think what they're looking for is a little bit more of a defensive intensity, don't you think?
Absolutely, Al. Absolutely. And they're verbally saying that themselves. But it's got to be backed up with action.
Under 4 minutes to go in the quarter. The Knicks try to expose 5'11" Derek Martin with Derek Harper. Shovels for Oakley in traffic. Rejected by Gugliotta. And grabbed by Sam Mitchell. They push it up the floor. Ryder sees Gugliotta on a great feed. Gugliotta for the second time in the quarter breaks free on the break.
What a terrific sequence for Gugliotta. And what a special pass from Ryder.
Harper on the miss. Oakley on the rebound. And the Wolves will be called for a loose ball foul. Gugliotta gets whistled for it. What an assist for Isaiah Ryder.
Ryder going up in the air now. He sees Gugliotta running quickly to low position, and he fires that ball to him.
Charles Smith gets the bounce. Knicks 24, T-Wolves 17. Again, Minnesota tries to accelerate their progress up the floor. Now it's Ryder, who has been struggling in this opening quarter against Starks. And a whistle. Illegal defense called against the Knicks. It's the first. The next one will cost them. None of the 3 guards so far in the game for Minnesota, Ryder, Porter, Martin, have scored. So put a big check in the plus column for the defense being played by Harper and Starks so far.
And the help also, particularly in the direction of Starks, who's guarding Ryder.
Ewing jumps out to bother Derek Martin. Christian Leitner is off on the 15-foot jumper. And Starks for Harper, who spins on Martin. Saw Oakley, but the pass is picked off by Leitner and Martin. Mitchell rejected by Smith, who went up strong. Ewing couldn't save it from Gugliotta. Lofts it up for Ryder underneath, and he puts in the reverse. Oakley just slaps the hand of Sam Mitchell away, and we've got a technical foul.
The official didn't let Charles get away with that. Fortunately, Charles's arm movement didn't connect. Not that it would have hurt Mitchell.
Charles Oakley pleading the case. When did he shave the mustache off, John?
Good pickup, Al. Charles arguing his case to no avail.
And Charles Oakley is still completing with Ed Middleton. Isaiah Ryder for the tee. Fans like that, obviously.
Take another look at this play now. Oakley knocked down by Gugliotta. No call, so he's unhappy. And Mitchell getting up slowly, and then you can see Charles swing that arm. Sure, it was viewed rather unsportsmanlike, and that's why the technical was called.
I think I'd be a little testy too, laying under the hoop, watching everyone jump up and maybe landing on my chest.
Also, he got creamed pretty well too. And we're told that Charles indicated that Mitchell wouldn't let him up, and that's what he was unhappy about.
Patrick Ewing slithering through. They do not give him continuation on the basket. So he growls about that, but we'll get 2 free throws. 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Knicks 5-5 and Ewing to the line. 41 points 4 games ago, then 23 points and 23 rebounds against Vancouver, and 37 against Miami.
Patrick was 5 for 5.
And Patrick just realized they didn't count the shot. So he's got to come back and take the second shot.
He was 5 for 5 in Miami at the line. Didn't get to the line in 39 minutes against Chicago.
So successful on both. 26-19. Leitner drives on Oakley. Tangled up with help from Smith. Derek Martin running hook shot. Beautifully done. Well, I guess when you're 5'11", you come up with moves like that.
Always impressive, though, when the player does it with his offhand, in that case, the left hand.
Gugliotta, solid first quarter with 9 points. Up on Oakley, and now it's Ewing, who checks the 24-second clock. Spins in motion. When he spun, he saw Smith stop, almost lost it, got it back, and got an easy 2.
Well, early opportunities for the Knicks to score down low, an awful lot here. Well, their main focus has to be defense, because it looks like the offense is not going to have a problem getting good shots.
10 for Patrick Ewing. He doubles Ryder. That reverses play for Minnesota. Leitner. Another miss. A big rebound by Smith. Boy, was he way up. Harper. All the way.
Funny, Ewing was down waiting for a pass, but Harper just had clear sailing.
Another attempt at quick transition by Minnesota. Ewing back for the rebound. Harper goes right at Leitner and throws it away.
Oakley didn't move. He stayed still, and I think Derek Harper thought Charles would be filling the lane on the left side.
Starks hears it, so does Charlie Ward. Many of the people here probably watched the Knicks beat Miami and watched Charlie Ward play a significant role in the fourth quarter with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals in his 19 minutes. Leitner. Well, if there wasn't 3 seconds, it was definitely a miss. Minnesota's gone cold now, shooting only 33%. 3-on-1. Mitchell, bad pass. Still is able to slide behind Derek Harper for the 2. 26.8 to go.
Charlie Ward came off the bench and immediately started to drive to the basket for his own play. Charlie, always very offensive-minded coming off the bench.
Knicks cannot play it for a true last shot. The T-Wolves will have about 2 seconds when the 24-second clock expires. Smith comes up with an air ball. Gugliotta had it picked by Derek Harper, and so they do not get off a final attempt. After 1 quarter here at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks 30, Minnesota 23.
Was brought to you in part by Toyota. I love what you do for me. Toyota. By MetLife. Get Met. It pays. And by Hertz. For business, for pleasure, nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
We're back at the Garden, and we're courtside with John Turturro, who's here to play in this Legends game right after the Knicks game. So I'm sure you've been practicing a lot.
No, not really. No, I haven't. I haven't had the time. No.
So you're a New York native. Must be kind of a thrill to play on the Garden floor later tonight.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
What about
I'm a Knicks fan. Yeah, that's always good. I used to sit up in the blue all the time. So.
Now, you know, you're sitting in where Spike Lee usually sits. I know you've been in a couple of his films.
Yeah.
Did he loan you the seats?
No, no. Sometimes I come with him once in a while.
Besides being in one of my all-time favorite movies, Quiz Show, you have been in a couple of his. What's next for you?
I have 2 films coming out. One called Grace in My Heart, and the other one called Box of Moonlight.
All right, well, we'll look forward to those, and we'll look forward to seeing you later tonight.
Thank you.
Back to Al Trawick now.
All right, Deb. John, I would imagine if he really is a great actor, and he is, he just assumes the role of an outstanding basketball player, and we should see great things.
I agree, Al. I sense a little Gardenitis perhaps too with John. You know, he's a little nervous perhaps awaiting his own appearance here.
That'll be on MSG right after this game tonight at the Garden. Doug West got bothered in the air by Charles Smith, who's very active and playing big. Charlie Ward for Charles Smith, big again.
Charles Oakley yelling at the official for missing a call he felt. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves are suffering in their inability to protect the outlet pass, or at least delay the Knicks' start to their break. The Knicks are getting the ball and having it at half court awfully quickly.
Knicks are showing some very good defensive signs in this game. Ewing with another block. 3 Knicks were in there, bothering everything the T-Wolves tried to do. Ewing dribbles up the floor, and our first chance to see the kid just out of high school, Kevin Garnett, number 21, on the floor right now for Minnesota. Sean Rooks also into the game, grabbing that rebound. That is Garnett with the ball. Was more in than out, than finally out. Garnett's been getting about 20 minutes a game, averaging a little over 6 points a game. Drafted the 5th spot out of Farragut High School. Oakley is fouled by Gugliotta. 3rd foul on Tom Gugliotta.
Unusual play. Charles Oakley holding off Gugliotta with his left hand and receiving the ball with his right hand and taking the shot.
Oakley tidies up his uniform top and steps to the line. Great pregame look by Mike Quick at the story of Kevin Garnett entering the NBA just out of high school. He really didn't have the academic ability to go to college. Could have gone the JC route, but elected not to.
Talking to Randy Whitman, one of the assistant coaches on the Timberwolves, before the game about Garnett. He said one of the many difficult adjustments he's making now is, as a high school player last year, as hard as that may seem to believe, at 6'11", he was playing back to the basket. And now he's facing his opponents more and more on the offensive end. You can see some of the numbers on him. 5th player taken overall in the last draft. But the feeling is universally by this franchise that they have a future star here. The man with the basketball right now, Garnett.
Hands the ball up to Derek Martin, who definitely stepped in the backcourt. No call was made. Now Sean Rooks, former star at Arizona, out for Derek Martin, who was fouled. It was a 3-point attempt. We'll have 3 shots. Charlie Ward got him on the arm set at Milton. John, you ever wonder, you know, how much of a different man you would be if you didn't have those college years at Fordham to look back on?
I shudder to think, Al.
Martin to the line, hits the first. Knicks 33, Wolves 24.
Martin played the man at the foul line a big role in the last win for Minnesota. They beat San Antonio a week ago by 8 points. San Antonio, leading the Midwestern Division, fell to this team, and he stepped in with 14 points and 13 assists.
All net on all 3. And Charlie Ward. For Charles Oakley, guarded by Marcus Bragg, making his first appearance in the game for Minnesota. Ewing spins over Sean Rooks. Oakley couldn't get the rebound. Charlie Ward with a good save. Hubert Davis tries to save it. And finally, it's grabbed by Kevin Garnett. Strange sequence. Here's Doug West. We're talking hang time with West on that particular shot. Wolves get it to a 5-point deficit.
In transition, the Knicks are allowing a lot of opportunities to score.
Charlie Ward tries to stop this Minnesota 5-0 run. Oakley, hard work with the foul.
Well, you don't see Charles Oakley score much on reverse shots, but he worked so hard. He had good body momentum after the hard work around the basket. Charlie Ward with a shot that almost made it. Good follow by Oakley. Then he stays active in the play, keeps competing, and up and under is the direction Charles took that ball.
Well, it was one Oakley against 3 Timberwolves near the end of that sequence. Oakley's got 8 points and 4 rebounds. Ewing's leading the way for the Knicks with 10 points and 8 grabs. 9 for Gugliotta, 8 for Sam Mitchell. Those are the highlights of the scoring story so far. We're in the second quarter with 9:07 to go. Sean Rooks. Patrick Ewing just missed getting a fingertip on it. Ewing trapped on the baseline. Smith is able to grab it. Davis for 3.
Well, Hubert's hard work always expresses itself early when he gets those scoring opportunities. He always seems to be on target these days.
Davis's first impression off the Knick bench. There's Marcus Bragg. Former Providence Friar, one of the group of rookies on this team. Ewing way out, drawing Rooks. They pounded into Oakley, who was grabbed by Bragg. That's his second quick foul. Jerome Allen's a rookie. Marcus Bragg's a rookie. Mark Davis a rookie. Kevin Garnett a rookie. And Christian Laettner returns. Laettner 0 for 4 in his first quarter minutes. Bragg with the 2 quick fouls leaves. He's been a DNP mostly for Flip Saunders. Knicks try to post up Smith. Laettner knocks it away. Davis, Oakley, Ward, Ewing. Everybody's touching it, including Smith. Oh, beautifully done. The fake. The defender goes by. 2 dunks for Charles Smith. 6 for him, 3 for Ford. Couple of rebounds and a blocked shot.
Boy, that kind of passing will pull a team together and make guys feel good about each other.
Doug West jumps out. Derek Martin slaps his hands. He wanted the ball back. Laettner rejected by Smith for a second block. And Charlie Ward leaps over the T-Wolves bench. And does it again.
Well, the fans are very impressed, but the T-Wolves weren't. They were rather impassive to Charlie's antics. Nice block by Charles Smith. You see Charlie Ward go airborne now. Nobody even bothered to see what happened on the other side.
Knicks have 4 blocked shots. Doug West from outside. 41-34. Oakley on a slow dribble. Bounces it out of bounds off of Charlie Ward, who discusses with Charles Oakley how that play should have worked. A little pressure now by Charlie Ward, but it's a solo effort. 7:05 to go in the first half. Kevin Garnett tipped up by Rooks, saved by Laettner, steal by Ward, who breaks from the pack. Knicks come out 4-on-2. Davis thought about the 3. Oakley slaps it for Smith. 3 dunks for Charles Smith and 8 points.
Well, the hoops look easy for Charles, but he's getting to the right position.
Minnesota has called a 20-second timeout. The 20-second timeout will be followed by a full timeout. Good sign for the Knicks in terms of passing. 18 field goals, 12 assists.
Marquee Sky Cam. The Knicks moving the ball very well here in the first half. Hubert Davis drawing double attention there. Charles Oakley to Charles Smith down low. Charles Smith enjoying some fine passing coming his way tonight. Hubert Davis, also Oakley. Charlie Ward inside to Ewing, back outside. No one's forcing. Charles Smith again with good position down low for another stuff. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Knicks grab it and shooting the ball well. T-Wolves have gone chilly. First few minutes they were hitting everything. And they started hitting nothing. Oakley again. Running the Knick offense from out high. It's been happening a lot in this first half. Hubert Davis hits another long-range jumper. And the Knicks have opened up a 45-34 lead.
Hubert has enjoyed good moments against the Timberwolves in his NBA career.
And this lead is their largest of the game. Sean Rooks backs in on Oakley. Well off. Oakley did a good job defending him. Patrick Ewing's on the bench. So the Knicks have their medium-sized lineup on the floor. Charles Smith again. Well, this is shaping up to be a night to remember for Charles Smith at the Garden.
You know, it's funny, Al. Charles's shots have been coming in close. Certainly not shooting practice, so to speak, because he's been jamming the ball. But now, when you get the feel and the confidence of the ball in your hand, you can spread it out and start hitting those outside shots, as he just did.
Garnett fires for Leitner. And Christian Leitner hits his first shot. He's got 4. And John, we're seeing Charles Oakley point guard. Again.
Why not, the way he's been delivering the ball?
Charles Smith is called for the offensive foul. His second. Terry Porter returns. So does Isaiah Ryder. Derek Martin leaves. And so does Sean Rooks, begrudgingly. At least that's the body language he's giving off. Ryder back. He struggled 1 for 4 in his first quarter minutes. Knicks up by 11. Very into it. Knicks playing with a lot of energy, both ends of the floor. Moving the ball, blocking shots, switching off, helping out. They're playing like a team, John, that wants to dispel this notion that they just don't get up at all for bad teams. I think they're looking for a 20-point win here tonight.
That's Isaiah Ryder from the foul line. Well, they rebounded well Wednesday night in Miami, Al. They shook off the nightmare of the Chicago Bulls very impressively, and then they've had a couple of days to practice. Schedule's been pretty intense lately. Don Nelson showing some of his frustration about a call that didn't come his way. However, here in the first half, they have accumulated 9 turnovers. That a result of their ability to push the ball. Timberwolves have given them a lot of opportunity to run here in the first half.
Charles Oakley commits his first foul. John Starks returns for Charlie Ward. Ward leaves with a rebound, didn't score, but was very bothersome defensively. Now Doug West, the only remaining member of the first ever T-Wolves team to take the floor.
Doug, now in his 7th season, has been a double-figure scorer for the last 4 years. And as you mentioned earlier, Al, is now the Wolves' all-time leading scorer, passing Tony Campbell, former Knick and New Jersey originated player Tony Campbell.
Harper looking inside for Mason. Mason draws 2, almost 3 defenders. Starks for 3. Mason inside for the rebound, but he'll be called for the loose ball foul. Oh no, it'll be on Doug West. First on West, and the Knicks will get a fresh 24 with 4:16 to go in the half. Knicks with a 13-8 record here at the Garden, and a very similar 12-7 record on the road. Obviously, the home record is something they want to pump up a bit. Mason holds. Starks gives it back to him. Mason surrounded by T-Wolves. Starks again for a chance. Harper gets the second chance. Oakley gets the fake. And nothing for it.
Surprised that Harper passed up a foul line jumper.
Here's Terry Porter from just inside the line. It's 47-41. The T-Wolves shaving the 11-point Knick lead with a 7-0 run.
Boy, Al, doesn't Terry Porter look a lot thinner than he was as a member of the Portland Trailblazers? Looks like he lost a lot of weight.
Derek Harper going baseline with the foul and a free throw to come. Patrick Ewing returns. Yeah, he does look a lot thinner to me.
Well, here's an exciting move by the oldest starting point guard in the NBA. Derek Harper, beautiful drive, a lot of deception and strong finish.
Terry Porter called for the foul. Patrick Ewing back. He's had a very solid first half, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Harper completes the three-point play, and the Knicks lead at 50-41. Porter on the very deliberate dribble. Scanning the floor the whole time. Leitner breaks away as Ewing switched. Then Smith switches to come out on Leitner. That puts Ewing on the rookie Garnett. Leitner, the fall away. Tough shot. Garnett. Oh, no look down low for Ryder. But the basket won't count. Snappy little pass by the rookie Garnett.
Randy Whitman, Al, who I referred to before, one of the assistant coaches, talking about Garnett's passing. I was most surprised to hear about his assets described as he sees the whole court so beautifully.
Timeout at the Garden.
I want you to know that Madison Square Garden's play-by-play sports bar and restaurant is the place for football fans on Super Bowl Sunday. Watch all the action on the play-by-plays, 30 TV screens. Enjoy drink and food specials plus giveaways and raffles. Compliments of Budweiser, all with no cover charge. Doors will open on Super Bowl Sunday at 3 p.m. Meet your friends at the best place in the city for the big game, the Garden's play-by-play. For further information, call 212-465-5888.
Charlie Ward, for the record, picks, this is really going out on a limb, Dallas tomorrow. Isaiah Ryder whips it from the baseline out for Garnett. Uses a Ryder screen. All Knicks on the rebound. Mason up the floor. 2.5 to go in the first half here at MSG. Knicks up by 9. They've led by as many as 11. Doug West gives Mason some room. Now Starks thinks about going on Ryder. Ewing gets the feed. Mason bothered on the rebound by West. Knicks will keep it and get a fresh 24. 3 Knicks in double figures. Ewing, Harper, and Smith each with 10. Mason lofts it out for Harper. Harper again on Porter. Goes right, left, right. This time instead of taking it to the basket, goes for Ewing. Ooh, draws the foul from Leitner. Patrick Ewing will go to the line for 2 free throws. Third foul on Christian Leitner. So he and Mason with the first half foul trouble. Sam Mitchell will return to the game, replacing Doug West. So one co-captain for another.
Well, Patrick Ewing has lots of opportunities here tonight. You can see Patrick, number 6 now in the NBA in shot blocking. Kembe Mutombo, David Robinson, Mourning, who we'll see here Monday night when the Miami Heat come to town. Sean Bradley, Akeem Olajuwon, the top centers in the NBA.
Isaiah Ryder just took that brief respite to go over to the Minnesota broadcasters, grab a cough drop, and say, tell them to stop doubling me. Sean Rooks jump hook. You know, it's so quiet here right now. You can eavesdrop on virtually any conversation you want. I can hear the people up in the suites talking right now.
Something along the lines of pass me a drink.
Yeah.
How about a hot dog?
Minnesota foul was on Sean Rooks, his first. So Derek Harper with 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Very, very busy with the basketball in this first half.
Derek's looking very sharp tonight. Looks well rested with the 2 days off. I'm sure his teammates feel the same way.
53-43. We're under 2 minutes to go in the half. Mike Crispino's at the sports desk. Deb Kaufman will be here with Walt Clyde Frazier. They'll carry you through halftime. Foul is on Derek Harper, his first. And Terry Porter will step to the line. Whenever you talk about guys who come from little known schools, Terry Porter's part of the conversation, from Wisconsin Stevens Point.
Terry concentrating on bringing as much leadership as he can to this young team.
Terry's also a symbol of the destruction that normally follows a team that's had many great years in a row in terms of making a run at the title, which the Blazers did. Starts for Ewing, for Smith. Smith, air ball. Ewing follows. Blocked on the glass by Rooks. They'll count it. Goaltending is the call, so the Knicks return to an 11-point lead.
Well, Patrick Ewing in the right spot, and he gets a chance to enjoy a goaltending call in his favor.
Brooks rolls it around. Ewing commits the foul. It's become a free throw battle here in the past few minutes. Game's not had much flow to it. Doug Christie enters the game for the first time. He replaces Anthony Mason. Mason leaves with 4 points and 6 rebounds. The Knicks front line has been very, very interested in grabbing all the rebounds they can. So here's Rooks to the line.
Rooks now in his 4th season, spent the first 2 years with the Dallas Mavericks, emerged as a strong player. He was originally a 2nd-round draft pick by Dallas, and last year came over to Minnesota. I always enjoy seeing Sean Rooks because it gives me an opportunity to mention his dad, Roland Rooks, a New Yorker, and guy played a lot of sandlot basketball against Al, he's now an official, enjoying his basketball love of basketball by being an official here in the New York area.
I love those alliterative names. They roll off your tongue. Roland Rooks.
I know he's here tonight as well.
Doug Christie tried to get it into Charles Smith. A T-Wolf got a hand on it, so it will be Knick ball with 1:01 to go. Ewing for Harper, Starks, Christie. Everybody's touching it. Knicks functioning well at both ends of the floor. 1 on the 24. Harper's going to let it go. Smith tipped it. Ewing couldn't follow to grab it. And this is Isaiah Ryder. Ryder very, very quiet in the first half. Throws it into the hands of Harper. Up the floor with Starks on the wing. Perfect pass. Blocked by Ryder. Good recovery. Garnett up the floor. 2-on-1. Mitchell for Rooks. Smith got in his face. Mitchell again. Smith the block, but the foul. Charles Smith standing tall defensively. 2-on-1.
2-on-1, and Charles, as you say, Al, right there, making it very difficult for Rooks. Charles having a major presence here tonight in the first half with his defensive presence.
Doug Christie called for the foul with 25.9 to go. Sam Mitchell's at the free throw line again. That's his 7th free throw attempt in the first half, and he's perfect from the line.
Notice how he takes his time, and he'll follow through with that nice finish.
Perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Sam Mitchell, so he's been there 8 times. The Knicks have only been there 12 as a team. Counting it down in the first half. Harper thinking about Ewing, but Ewing wants to spin. Oh, Harper had it. Smith taking up Mitchell. Rooks with the rebound. Ewing stopped him, but Rooks recovers, and the buzzer sounds. The Wolves get nothing off at the buzzer. A very solid first half for the Knicks. The T-Wolves with a flurry at the line in the late stages of the first half. Knicks led by as many as 11. Here at the half, it's a 7-point bulge, 55-48. Deb Kaufman will carry you through halftime on MSG in a moment.
That's Clyde.
55-48, looking at the Toyota matchup and some other numbers.
Yes, Patrick Ewing against his former dream teammate Christian Laettner. Patrick dominating in the points and rebounding department. And we take a look at the other interesting numbers here of the first half. Field goal percentage favoring the home team, certainly. Minnesota getting to the foul line in fine fashion. 18 of 21. Knicks shooting there as well, but not nearly as much. Rebounding favoring the Knicks, as it should. Nice number of assists for the Knicks. A little too many turnovers, however, in the first half, but they were dominant in the shot blocking department. Charles Smith leading the way with 3 of the team's 6.
Knicks kicking some butt on the boards. Crowd resettling in at the Garden. They spent halftime meeting the players who will take part in the Sharp Electronics Knicks Invitational. Some legends, some stars, local celebrities and the like. We'll have that for you right after this T-Wolves Knicks game concludes at the Garden. Well, the hoop by Minnesota cuts it to a 5-point Knick lead. Anthony Mason almost threw it away to Derek Harper. 12 on the 24 for Derek, working on Isaiah Ryder. Oakley screens. 6 on the 24. Harper shakes, bakes, drives. Nifty little pass from Ryder, who gets it back from Porter. Spectacular by Isaiah Ryder.
Wow, did he get up?
His first offensive impact in the game. He's got 6, but that's the first hoop of note.
It's rare, Al, you see a very exciting layup like that doesn't end up in a dunk.
Patrick Ewing tried to tip Mason's miss. Dives on the loose ball. He's pushed out of bounds by Sam Mitchell. They'll call the foul on Mitchell.
Marriott Marquis, look at Ryder's finish. You watch how he goes airborne and hangs in the air and finishes under such control.
Ewing throws it hard to Oakley and acknowledges a bad pass. So Knicks just a little sloppy here. 1:16 in to go the third quarter. 55-52. It's now a 3-point lead. Terry Porter waiting for the prescribed play to develop. Laettner looks for the cutting Gugliotta. Foul by Oakley. Nice play by the Timberwolves. And they come out of the locker room successful. Second foul on Charles Oakley.
Gugliotta moving without the ball well, and Laettner gets that ball to him. Laettner, an excellent passer. Tom Gugliotta in 11 career games against the Knicks, very much below his career norm at 10 points a game. Poor shooting percentage, foul shooting, everything down from what he normally does. But the Knicks have never seen the best of Gugliotta.
Remember that first night you brought it up? He was like 3 for 17 or something awful with the Bullets.
He had horror show performances here, particularly frustrating because his origin out in Long Island brought a lot of fans, naturally family members, and he just would never have big games here.
That would be exit 49 on the LIE.
Most familiar to you, Al.
Yes. I've been stuck in traffic many times there. 6-0 run by the Wolves to get this second half started. Knicks go back to the ball movement. That was the mark of their success in the first. Starks for 3. Another rebound by Oakley. Bounds bodies with Laettner. And a foul called against Minnesota from the outside official Ed Middleton. Sam Mitchell gets called for the foul. His second. Both here in the third.
Sam had to walk it off.
Very quiet night at the Garden. It's full, but quiet. Ewing working on Christian Laettner. Goes up strong. And that's a hook that Patrick Ewing will probably be able to get on Christian Laettner 99% of the time. He's definitely got the strength and height advantage. Ryder gets the ball. Starks went for the steal. Trapped on the baseline. Stepping out of bounds. And Oakley and Isaiah Ryder come together. Very, very brief.
What was terrific about that play for the Knicks is that John Starks went for the steal, missed it, and immediately Charles Oakley was right there to plug up the defense.
The T-Wolves are 11-28, but 18 of their games were decided by Ewing from way outside, 10 points or less. 18 of the 28 in the NBA. If you're losing by 10 or less, you're in games that if you get rid of the silly little mistakes, you can win.
Good point, Al. They've also lost 5 overtime games and had many such games. They feel that they should have won, honestly, another 7 games, which would bring this record 3 games to within 500, the record that they now have. Coming in here tonight, Minnesota at 11-28.
Well, if I were the T-Wolves and I was only 1 win better than a first-year franchise, that would send out a warning flag to me. So, and it's starting to show in their attendance at the Target Center. Starks, Laettner, second chance to stop him. 3-second violation against the Knicks.
I was asking members of the coaching staff what they feel their greatest need is to make bigger strides. And the answer was that we need a starting point guard who can give us a lot of direction in the half-court offense, which is what Terry Porter's job is. But as I mentioned a couple of times, Porter is just playing too many minutes, and he doesn't have the speed and the youth that they need at that position.
Gugliotta's shot may have grazed the rim. Harper spinning on Porter. Now Ewing. Stopped by Laettner. Stripped by Laettner. Lays it off for Gugliotta. Couldn't get the layup to fall. Oakley got tangled up on the baseline. Charlie Ward's going to return to the game. John Starks leaves. Knicks lead is 5. Knicks started off with 4 turnovers in the second half. So that's 1 per minute. Another whistle. Derek Harper is called for the foul. Second team foul on the Knicks, so the T-Wolves will take it out of bounds. Mentioned the attendance in Minnesota. They've had some 9,000. They've had some 10. They're averaging just over 13, and that's way down in the league. 26th. Oakley gets the shovel from Ward. Harper was there for the follow if necessary, but it wasn't.
Well, Charles Oakley moving quite well tonight, showing no sign of his Achilles problem that has hampered him throughout the season.
Porter for Ryder. Tough pass. Handled it. Gugliotta. Another drive attempt. Draws the foul. It's on Patrick Ewing.
Take a look at Charlie Ward in action here. Charlie has now played in 14 of the last 15 Knicks games. He sized things up and knew that Charles Oakley was in front of him and gave him the perfect pass.
Tom Gugliotta trying to end a Knicks 6-0 run.
Tom now in his 4th NBA season. Brings a 14-point-a-game average into this season, and currently averaging 16 a game.
Now Gugliotta's been one of the best players on the floor. He's got 13 points, a couple of rebounds, a blocked shot. After that, it's Mitchell with 12, and then everybody else has single digits. Knicks have 4 double-digit scorers. Ewing, one of them, and he's leading the way. On the double, lofts it for Harper. He lofts it for the hoop. That's a 3 for Derek Harper. Gugliotta guarded by Oakley. Harper's out there guarding Ryder. Ewing's on Laettner. Poked away. What a play by Ward. Sends it for Oakley. Ryder back. Clobbers Oakley. Will be shooting a couple. Timeout at the Garden. 6:46 to go. Knicks saw their lead go away, and now they're in the process of trying to get it back.
It's a familiar man, Mike Schuler, assistant coach. And we'll go back to a Coke Classic play that'll take us back a few years ago to 1986 when Mike Schuler was announced as the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers in an unforgettable moment, Al, as you recall. Mike settling into his position, and there he went.
John, it's a classic.
Great moments in NBA coaching lore, although Mike, very serious guy, I'm sure has seen enough of that.
See, I've always believed he did it on purpose. He knew that if he did something like that, you know, 9 years later, we'd still be playing it. He'd be in our hearts.
Well, he's sitting next to Flip Saunders. And it's quite an interesting group of assistant coaches over there with the Timberwolves. Randy Whitman, a man I had mentioned earlier, next to Saunders, who's in the middle. Randy, a former NBA player, star at Indiana University. Jerry Seasting also is on the bench. Jerry, a former Boston Celtic. And now an assistant, and a guy who isn't there but is also listed as one of their assistant coaches, undoubtedly on a scouting mission, is former NBA player Greg Ballard.
John, you mentioned the T-Wolves, and they're looking to improve at point guard. Derek Martin will run the show now. Leitner spins on Ewing, goes to the reverse. Ewing fouls him. It falls. T-Wolves aren't going to go away just yet. 66-58.
Leitner with a beautiful reverse move on Ewing and up and under. That's what makes Leitner so tough. He can do many things, and he's got speed.
Well, Ewing's been all over him. Charles Oakley gave it right up, but the Knicks don't pay. Leitner, by the way, is 1 for 9 from the floor, so Ewing is definitely bothering his offensive game. Knicks by 7. That was their lead at halftime. Ward, rainbow. Oakley was up there just in case.
Charlie beat the defense with the quick release on that drive.
Martin guarded by Ward. Ewing on Leitner. Harper on Ryder. Mason on Mitchell. Oakley on Gugliotta. Leitner, and it counts. Christian Leitner getting another foul call. That's the 4th personal foul on Patrick Ewing.
Well, why not get back to the man who's delivered for you? Leitner with a very difficult shot.
Completing the 3-point play. 4 fouls on Ewing would have to be a concern to Don Nelson. He's called out Charles Smith's number as a response. 5:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Anthony Mason, a very quiet offensive game. He's only got 4. He draws the double. Harper way out with 4 on the 24-second clock. Ryder goes for 3. Oakley up the floor with Harper. Only little Derek Martin is back. Ain't gonna stop that. And the T-Wolves call it 20. They want to discuss what's happening here. Knicks up 7. They cut it to 1. Knicks respond to go up big. They come back a little bit. Knicks respond again. 70-62.
Don Nelson with specific words for Charles Oakley.
Another reminder that when this game is over, we'll have the Knicks Invitational for you.
Derek Harper to Charles Oakley. Always reward the big man for his rebounding and his toughness. Al is a shocking score up on the board. The Orlando Magic visiting Indiana tonight in the 3rd quarter. We're looking at an amazing difference here. 71 for Indiana, 43 for Orlando.
Wow, that's after getting beaten last night by Atlanta pretty convincingly by 12. The Hawks making a run like they're for real, beating the Magic 96-84. John, are you still having coffee problems from the first half? This is the most mysterious table we've ever sat at. We spilled coffee before the game, and it's still oozing out. But how, we don't know.
The table was scrubbed, and well, this table has got a blotter quality to it, Al.
What I like is that you're absorbing the caffeine, and it's helped keep you going.
Right.
Patrick Ewing on the bench in foul trouble. See, it was spilled here, and John's got the paper towels going.
We do all kinds of work here during a game, Al.
Not afraid to get your hands dirty. Oh, now you're handing off.
What a staff.
See, you do it when the camera's on. Now Betsy Aronson's got to do it when the camera's off. Back in play, Leitner going at Charles Smith. Out for Sam Mitchell. Way off, and Charles Smith, who had a very, very good run in the first half, goes up high for that rebound. Mason on the drive. Passes it off. Good Nick passing for Charlie Ward. And it's Betsy Aronson, not Aronson. I misspoke. Gugliotta. What great form. Good release. Tom Gugliotta.
Tom's one of those players in the NBA who needs intense defensive presence by his opponent, or else he's just going to hurt you constantly. He can shoot from all over.
Ward uses the Mason screen. Tipped out by Isaiah Ryder. Nick Ball with 10 on the 24-second clock. Yeah, Isaiah was having a light moment with a very young Knick fan in the front row. Harper, quick release. Gugliotta high for the rebound. Out for Derek Martin. T-Wolves push the tempo. Ryder stripped by Oakley. Saves it on the baseline to Mason. The taller Gugliotta on the shorter Harper. Oakley, now Ward. Back for Charles Oakley. This is three. Three for Charles Oakley. Oakley's got 17 points and 6 rebounds. Knicks back to a 9-point lead. Sam Mitchell with the lovely looking scoop.
That's where the Knicks miss Patrick Ewing's presence.
Mitchell's got 14, second leading scorer for the T-Wolves. Leitner 10.
Charles Oakley with a very big third quarter here with 9 points already.
Mason trapped by Wolves. Hands it off for Harper, who's clawed by the Wolves. Sam Mitchell commits the foul, his third, all here in the third quarter. Yeah, Harper looked like he got raked pretty good. And Harper will shoot free throws with 3:17 to go in the third quarter.
Derek shooting them well throughout this season at 78% from the line. Still the Knicks' second leading scorer at 15 points a game behind Patrick Ewing's 22.
That 14-point total ends a string of 3 games in which he had scored in only single digits. Gets the bounce. But Derek Harper, I believe, is bleeding. And as a result has to leave to be attended to by Mike Saunders. They let him shoot the free throws, and then off he goes.
Yes, otherwise, if substituted for in a foul shooting situation, when you're the shooter and you're taken out, you cannot come back to the game. Which reminds me, one of the fans at halftime told me that they heard a radio report that Magic Johnson is coming back this Tuesday. It was reported that he may come back with the Lakers next Friday to greet the Bulls. But now that quick report said that a radio report that Magic Johnson will play Tuesday.
Derek Martin went right through all the Knicks, and then they lose it out of bounds. Well, you really wonder what he'll have left at the age of 36 if he does re-enter the NBA. Derek Harper getting patched up. We've got a timeout. This is MSG. Leitner doesn't have the magic tonight. 3 for 11, 10 points. His team is down, but he had the touch here. 2.1 to go. Down to Kentucky. And one of the great games and one of the great finishes in college basketball. He sent Duke to the Final Four. Grant Hill for Christian Leitner. A heart-stopping moment in college basketball. Leitner guarded by Charles Smith. Derek Martin was going to go back to him. Gugliotta. Oakley sails by. Tom Gugliotta. High arcing shot. He's got 17. 6 of 11 from the floor. Knicks 75. Minnesota 68. Starks. Stopped on the baseline. Ward. Oakley perimeter.
Boy, any kind of passing is getting the Knicks uncontested jump shooting.
Gugliotta spins on Mason. Tangled in traffic. Leitner too hard off the glass. Oakley was thinking touchdown. Instead, he goes handoff to John Starks. They collapse on Mason. Oakley back for Mason. Stripped from the ball. Natives getting a little restless here at the Garden. 1:44 to go in the third, and Sam Mitchell makes it a 5-point game again.
Well, Al, in transition, the Knicks did not pick up Sam Mitchell. He was unguarded.
We'll show this Charles Oakley at the point in the first half. Ball winds up in the hands of Mason again. Goes inside, draws a foul. Knicks haven't been getting much of that Anthony Mason post-up. But they'll get some free throws here.
Speaking about Christian Leitner and his terrific career at Duke, you can see the winning percentage at over 82%. Tremendous, tremendous. One of the all-time great college careers. However, in the professional life, crushing reality of top talent of NBA players, and the franchise you're with, a new emerging franchise, and he's gotten used to losing, or I should say he's been forced to get used to losing, although he's not happy about it. But the pay is a lot better, Al.
Yeah.
He can buy a lot more things than he could at Duke.
Yeah.
I was learning also the observation on his behavior now in his 4th season in the NBA is much better with the officials than it used to be. He made a lot of enemies with the officials with his complaining and his arguing with them. But the feeling is that he burned some of the officials so bad that some of them still have a short memory with Leitner. And he doesn't get the calls perhaps that he feels he should get from time to time. But his conduct this year is significantly better than it was as far as player-official relations.
Well, an unsuccessful stroll to the line by Anthony Mason. Knicks by 6 with 1:10 to go. We're in the third quarter at Madison Square Garden. Al Trautwig in for Marv Albert along with John Andres. Gugliotta breaking free. Hit hard by Oakley. But a foul.
Leitner knows how to pass, and Gugliotta recognized that with the give-and-go play.
Third foul on Anthony Mason. Gugliotta very, very active.
This is basic basketball. Just pass the ball to the big guy Leitner and then run to the hoop. And Charles Oakley a little slow in staying with Gugliotta. However, none of his teammates recognized the cutting Gugliotta either. They could have jumped in the way.
Sun had 9 in the first, none in the second. Back with us here in the third for 8.
Talking about Magic Johnson's return, Al, if it does happen, Derek Harper had some interesting observations on that. First question was, how old is Magic? Derek said at 36, I don't know. I don't see it happening. There's a big difference between when Magic was at his best and now. He said the big difference is the guys are a lot more athletic now. Guys knew the all-around game when Magic was playing. That's a strong move inside this time again by Charles Smith, who's having a fine game.
They saw the opening, went right at the basket.
Charles Smith, I mean, is that unbelievable? Nobody guarding him. straight to the hoop. But Harper was pointing out how the athleticism of the guys today, their greatness as athletes, will prove to be very tough on Magic Johnson.
You would think of all people, Derek Harper would be sticking up for another old guy. Surprised he took that tack.
Well, interesting observation, though. He said Michael Jordan, however, was able to do it because he is so athletic.
Christian Laettner just did get away from Charles Smith, who was all over him defensively. 36 seconds to go. Knicks by 5.
Just to complete the thought, though, Magic, however, can play forward, too. Or he can play low post as well. He doesn't have to be a point guard anymore.
Charlie Ward out for Charles Oakley. Laettner the rebound, saved by Harper. Mason. Knicks can hold for 1. Oh, good hustle by Derek Harper. Never gave up on it. 10 seconds. Harper's got Christian Laettner on him at 6'11". Ward from way out. Oh, Charlie Ward with 3.9 seconds to go.
Charlie was 2 for 2 the other night with 3-point shooting.
That one is well wide by Derek Martin. Fans starting to get into it a bit, courtesy of Charlie Ward. 82-74 Knicks.
Well, there has been some talk about Isaiah Ryder being involved in a trade that could bring him to the Knicks. The Knicks do not comment publicly on trade rumors. But it has been something bandied about, particularly with the trading deadline less than 4 weeks away.
Well, the Knicks don't comment, but evidently Kevin McHale does. Charles Smith is rolling right along tonight. He's got 15 points, 7 of 10 from the floor.
Well, it started with a couple of dunks for Charles, and it's been very smooth ever since that.
Derek Martin guarded by Charlie Ward. This is Isaiah Ryder, the man of whom you speak, John. Ryder hasn't had a very successful game, only 6 points and 3 of 9 from the floor. Ward, a wild shot. Ryder up the floor. Oakley stops him but fouls him. Charles Oakley committing, I believe, his 4th personal foul. It is his 4th personal foul. Back to the Ryder story.
Kevin McHale. A statement by Kevin McHale, which was in the New York Post. Pete Vessey's column, saying that I will say that we've talked 3 or 4 times to the Knicks regarding different things, but we don't seem to get anything done. And Dave Checkett's had a couple of statements, having gone to practice the other day, the Knicks president, saying that don't expect any big deals right now. We are very happy with our team that's 10 games above 500. We're happy from the perspective of the record, considering before the season, you know, if you project it to the end of January, the record being 10 above 500, new coach, some new situations, and Knicks looking ahead to the draft coming up when they have their 1st round draft picks plus another one.
Charles Smith is fouled. It's pretty loose on the bench tonight. They were at halftime when I saw them outside their locker room. Patrick Ewing on the bench with 4 personal fouls.
Well, considering the last couple of games, Al, the Knicks could be look at this game as a coasting type game. You don't have the pressure, you don't have the intensity here in the building tonight. Certainly the Timberwolves aren't one of the better teams in the league, without doubt. However, they're fairly close, and the Knicks really cannot consider that they have this game won by a long shot, particularly their history of playing with 6, 8-point leads throughout a game against weaker teams.
Particularly if Christian Laettner is going to hit shots like that. This was unbelievable.
Laettner got the beautiful pass. Charles Smith was guarding him, then he went over to help out, but Laettner was unprotected.
Christian Laettner makes it a 5-point ball game. We're 90 seconds into the 4th quarter. Laettner with 15 now. Well, the Knicks, not getting much energy from the crowd, are going to have to regenerate some of their own. Not nearly as effective in the third quarter as they were in the first half. And now Anthony Mason gets tangled up, resulting in a jump ball. Mason will jump against Doug West. One by Mason, grabbed by Harper. Harper goes right down the middle. A lot of blue under there. Minnesota almost throws it away. Isaiah Rider thinking three. He's got it. 84-82. It's a 2-point ball game with plenty of time left in the fourth quarter. And now an uneasy feeling here at the Garden with Minnesota putting together an 8-0 run. They didn't take a single three the whole first half, and that was their first make of the game. Oakley's pass was low. Smith traveled trying to handle that pass. Don Nelson says, I think it might be time to put Patrick Ewing back in the game. So that's exactly what he does. Anthony Mason leaves. 5 points, 8 rebounds. Ewing is back playing with 4 personal fouls.
Ewing with 18 points has shot the ball well. Charles Oakley also a 17-point scorer. Smith 15 points in the game. Knicks front line, a lot of points. This is where they have to make it work, though.
Christian Laettner behind the back, down the lane, rejected by Smith, saved by Rooks.
Ewing got distracted with a hand in the eye at a most inopportune moment for the Knicks. He just was so totally distracted with the pain.
Patrick Ewing's going to try and refocus while we pause on MSG.
Once again, experts are predicting an easy winner.
For Jeep Cherokee Sport owners anyway, its 190 horsepower engine, 4-wheel.
When you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Oh, Laettner on a nice crossover dribble. Makes his way to the basket. Smith with the block, but it's right off Patrick Ewing's face.
Patrick shakes it off, and on we go. 9 to go in the fourth quarter. T-Wolves very much alive. Ewing's shot is off, grabbed by Isaiah Rider. 10-0 run. Wolves 3 for 5, better than the Knicks 1 for 5.
Rider has been quiet throughout most of the game, and now he's coming to life big.
Rooks bangs into Ewing. Laettner goes back to Rooks. Spun, rejected by Ewing, saved by Rider. No time on the 24-second clock. The Knicks get a stop. When Rider got the ball, he had no idea that there was only 1 second left. Tied at 84. Hubert Davis for Oakley. Good look. Good things happen when you penetrate or try to. Doug West.
Knicks passing has been good tonight, and they've recognized open people.
The rookie Garnett in for Laettner. Pass was too high. A team steal by the Knicks. Ewing rushes up the floor to post up. Davis goes for a 3, fouled in the act. He'll get 3 free throws. We had one of those earlier from Minnesota. We've got a timeout at Madison Square Garden with 7:47 to go. Knicks by 2.
Well, the Knicks looking forward to a bit of a home stay now. Our upcoming Delta Airlines schedule shows you the Miami Heat will be here Monday night. Thursday, the Orlando Magic, and then the following Sunday, the Knicks will be at Indiana. MCS Cannon game night kicks off Monday night at 7 p.m.
Pat Riley, the sequel. Hubert Davis with 3 free throws, hits the first.
The Heat got thrashed by Chicago yesterday. Pat's very unhappy these days.
That game was over early. That's 2.
We mentioned Hubert Davis's success against the Timberwolves in his career. There are the numbers. Very hefty and most impressive. 32-point game was a long-distance shooting exhibition by Hubert Davis, who will be in the competition at All-Star Weekend in that department, representing the Knicks.
This one a lot closer than the Knicks would have wanted. They've lost 3 in a row at the Garden. It's been a struggle at home for a while now. They're playing a team that's 11-28. That'll tell you they're playing better basketball, winning 3 out of 5, but still.
That was Garnett, by the way, on a crazy shot.
Patrick Ewing. Now the Knicks respond to the T-Wolves with a 7-0 run. Doug West eluding Hubert Davis.
That was Terry Porter on a beautifully thrown lead pass.
Terry Porter meets Charlie Ward at midcourt. Oakley guarded by Leitner. Sean Rooks on Patrick Ewing. Doug West on Hubert Davis. Charles Smith guarded by Kevin Garnett. Ward right down the middle. That left Ewing open. Followed by Oakley. Smith grabs it. Out of bounds. Minnesota ball.
Well, Don Nelson going with this front line for quite a while of Smith, Oakley, Ewing, hoping that they can totally dominate the Timberwolves.
Porter lost the ball, saved by Garnett. Steps away from the rubble. West, Leitner, now Rooks. He bangs in on Ewing. Leitner's open on the help out. Air ball grabbed. 24-second clock buzzes. A foul on the Knicks right at the buzzer. Hubert Davis commits the foul. And Doug West will shoot 2. Minnesota's played it hard. Done some good shot making. They've gotten a little bit from many contributors. Minnesota's been to the line for 11 more attempts than the Knicks. That a rare miss for them in this game. They've made 30 of 33. That's over 90%. They've made 77 on the entire season. That time West misses both, but the Knicks commit another foul. Patrick Ewing's 5th personal foul.
See Ewing with that left elbow shove to Leitner. A lot of times that's a reflex. Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. It's just a sense of something that you can get rid of your man by doing that. But unfortunately, that is a foul.
And with plenty of time remaining, Terry Porter lost it on the sideline. Ed Middleton, the official, was right on top of it, said he touched it last out of bounds. Knick ball up 5, 6:15 to go. Hubert Davis will orchestrate. Ewing sets the screen. Left out there by Don Nelson with the fouls. Hubert Davis. He at times, John, when he moves down the lane, can look like he's in slow motion.
He has such good control of the ball, and he makes such good judgments. Don Nelson not following what many coaches would do automatically and taking his big man out with 5 fouls.
What a pass. Oh, Garnett went up for the dunk and pinned the ball on the rim. Davis saves for Oakley.
A lot of Don Nelson's coaching is certainly not conventional, as Knick fans have already seen.
Hubert Davis playing very aggressive with the ball. 10 on the 24. Ewing overplayed by Leitner. He's called for the foul. Christian Leitner called for the foul. He went for the steal and was reaching over Ewing's back. That's the 4th on Leitner. Timeout is called by the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Knicks leading by 7 here at Madison Square Garden. Back at the Garden, the Minnesota Timberwolves trailing the Knicks by 7. Wondering whether they can do what they've done only once before, and that's win here. It was 1991. Sam Mitchell had 20 points. Mark Jackson was in there. Ty Corbin had 22. The final score was 93-89. That was the night the Persian Gulf War broke out. The Minnesota Timberwolves have only won once here. Knicks have won now 8 straight games over Minnesota.
One of John McLeod's unhappy memories as a Knicks coach. You know that.
Sam Mitchell's back. Well, he had a good game that night, John, and here 5 years later he's having another good game. 16 points and 5 rebounds for the T-Wolf co-captain. Knicks on the inbound with a fresh 24-second clock. 5:17 to go. Knicks shooting 49% for the game. Alley-oop from Davis. Ewing missed the layup.
Became more of a jump shot actually as Patrick was going away from the hoop.
Knicks were killing Minnesota on the boards at halftime. They now lead by only 2 extra rebounds. So Minnesota has turned up their work ethic.
You think Minnesota would put Rooks down low and let it try and lure Ewing into that 6th foul, but they don't seem to be giving that much attention.
Hubert Davis called for his 2nd foul. Flip Saunders calling out Tom Gugliotta's numbers again. Ewing left out there with 5 personal fouls, and Isaiah Rider steps to the line.
Quiet game. 11 points for Rider. Coming in tonight as a 19-point-a-game scorer.
You always fantasize, John, anytime a player is rumored to be involved, where would he fit in? Are you trading for character, or are you getting a character?
Well, in Ryder's case, you would be trading for talent because he's got plenty of it, but he has a checkered past when it comes to his off-the-court behavior.
Rider makes the free throws. It's a 5-point Knick lead. Just under 5 minutes to go in the 4th. Charlie Ward remains out there, but Derek Harper now rises up for the Knick bench for crunch time. Ward got in there, got the rebound and the tip, but the numbers were not in his favor.
Charlie has to think more at times like this.
Don Nelson gets a tee. As Minnesota came across midcourt, Ed Middleton was quick on the trigger. Obviously a verbal thing, and the displeasure is obvious too.
Don Nelson's intensity is showing as he works the sidelines. Just saying, Al, Charlie Ward has got to, in situations like now, although he's leaving the game now in favor of Derek Harper, think more about elevating his teammates instead of looking for the shot.
Gugliotta on the inbounds as Harper rechecks into the game. Leitner draws a crowd. Mitchell. Sam Mitchell keeping it going. 18 points. You see the rebounding edge to Minnesota in the 2nd half. Big part of their success. Foul on Sam Mitchell. He, like Leitner, was overplaying Derek Harper. 5th on Mitchell, so he's got foul troubles of his own. Charles Oakley's back into the game with 4:08 to go, replacing Charles Smith. Smith hears it from the crowd, and this is well deserved. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocked shots, 7 of 11 from the floor. They clear it out for Patrick Ewing. Now Derek Martin doubles. That leaves Mason open, and Harper likewise. Harper missed the 3. Mason hard on the tip. T-Wolves very much involved. Down by only 2. Gugliotta for Rider. Leaning the wrong way.
Derek Harper dealing with Rider on a clear out now. It's 1-on-1.
Rider the soft bouncer for Martin. Back for the former UNLV star. Rider with 5 on the 24 for 3. Hubert Davis the rebound.
Noteworthy time that Hubert Davis is getting over John Starks in this game again.
Harper through a lot of traffic. Out for Ewing. Stripped by Rider. 5 on the 24 for the Knicks, who'll take it out of bounds.
John Starks has played 22 minutes tonight.
I don't remember the last time he was in the game. Nothing in the fourth quarter that I remember. Patrick Ewing the fall away.
John has 3 points also in the game.
Knicks 95, Minnesota 91. Mitchell with the wraparound pass for Christian Laettner. Fall away. All Knicks underneath. All 5 Knicks hit the boards.
Don Nelson likes his guards who can rebound, and Hubert Davis doing a nice job getting that last one.
Mason shovels to Harper. He's got the height advantage over Derek Martin. Knicks around the perimeter now. Davis finally to Ewing, who steps out. 4 on the 24. Ewing again rolls it in. It's a 2. He wanted 3, but it's a 2. Knicks by 6. Patrick Ewing inside. Patrick Ewing outside. Patrick Ewing 24 points. Timeout at the Garden.
Look at the Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Well, the Knicks going to their big man, Patrick Ewing. Patrick on the jump shot, right on target. And he has been rolling along. Now we'll take a look at the last shot. Patrick, thinking he's in 3-point range, goes for the long one over Laettner, who's pressuring him, but he couldn't stop it. Ewing looking for the 3, but it was a big 2. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to have to start thinking 3-point shooting, but they take fewer than any team in the NBA. The Knicks have almost taken 200 more 3-point attempts. It's a 6-point difference with 2:17 to go. And Minnesota has chewed up their timeouts. They've got but 1 left. Well, it's rare you see a team, John, with 2:15 to go have only 1 timeout left. But Flip Saunders has taken that route in terms of time management to keep his team in the game. Knicks on the intercept. I don't know who Sam Mitchell was throwing it to, but whatever was supposed to click between he and Laettner.
That was unbelievable. I mean, Patrick Ewing stood there and the ball was thrown to him.
Hubert Davis gets the Ewing screen. The pick and roll. Ewing again. Patrick Ewing taking control in crunch time. That's the way he's been for the last couple of weeks. And he's been big again for the Knicks. Ware with a block by Ewing. He's made 3 straight, has 26, and the Knicks have an 8-point lead. 1:40 to go.
We're talking dominance by the big man, Patrick Ewing, taking things over here.
Harper for Davis, quick release, 3! That could just about seal it.
Boy, you get the fit. You know, this has the look of the Knicks have been playing around, and now they're just closing it out with bombs.
A 9-0 run. Foul by Oakley on the perimeter. 5th foul on Charles Oakley.
Tell you, Al, Don Nelson has to be happy with the way the ball has moved on offense tonight. There's Hubert Davis. Hubert getting better at shooting under pressure with a man really up in his face.
Laettner hits the first. And the T-Wolves like getting a shot to the solar plexus. 1 minute you're 2 points out, and 90 seconds later you're down 11. Now it's a 9-point deficit with Laettner's free throws. 1:15 to go here at the Garden. Knicks looking to end their 3-game losing streak here at home.
Knicks pushing that ball in the direction of Hubert Davis.
Ewing. Followed by Laettner. Under a minute now. T-Wolves push it up. Sam Mitchell, they go for 2. It's 102-95 with 51.7 to go. Foul or go for a stop. Harper, 15 on the 24. Ewing is wide open. Just get out of his way.
Oh, they spread the floor. They moved it to the middle for the decisive pass.
The lead back to 9. Ewing the block. He's got 5 block shots. It's as if he's saying with his ability, I didn't like the way things were going, and I'm going to change it. And he did it. Derek Martin well off. Second bounce. Kept alive. It's Oakley. Knicks can almost play for one.
Charles Oakley with his 10th rebound, Mason with 10, and Ewing with 10. The starting front line, 10, 10, and 10.
Minnesota's put up the white flag. Knicks up by 9. 10 to go. The 24-second clock will expire before the game clock. Everyone's walking off, but they're going to have to play the last 1 point something. Everybody has to get back out onto the floor. They've got to play the last 1.2 or 4 or whatever it was. Knicks loose and very happy at the way they were able to close this one out when it counted. And here they just drop it in. That's it. It is all over at the Garden. The Knicks have beaten the Minnesota Timberwolves. For them, the 19th defeat, 10 points or less. They couldn't handle Patrick Ewing in crunch time. Ewing, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocked shots. He's been so strong. And the Knicks win it by the score of 104-95. Deb Kaufman will begin our post-game coverage. And don't forget, we've got the Sharp Electronics Knicks Invitational game still to come on MSG.